I just, for some reason, can see exactly the missing opportunity that other people can't see that's right in front of them. And I think it's a fun thing to do. And so I'm going to give some ideas that are part-time. They might be an extra grand or two a month. I'm going to give some ideas that are, could be full-time. I'm going to give some ideas that could be six figures, but you're doing it part-time, but it's going to take a lot of work. I'm going to give some online, some in-person. So if you hear the first couple and they're not for you, stick with us because these are some really diverse types of ideas, some online, some in person, etc.
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said.
And we are back in the space serving businesses from $0 to $500,000. I guess really we say $25,000 to $500,000, but we haven't been in this space for over 4 years. And we just launched the new product, the Mentor Collective Mastermind, and it's going so freaking awesome.
I think what's most exciting about working with this group of people is that there's usually so much low-hanging fruit that you and I can do and that our coaches can do, because there's so much room to grow.
Yep, absolutely. And listen, I don't want to turn this into some big long ad, but here's why we're bringing it up. There's only a few days left. Matter of fact, when this thing comes out, there's only a couple days left probably to get the founder pricing, right? We just launched it. That means there's thousands and thousands of dollars off right now with the founders pricing sale. So all the original members are going to get into it. So it's a massive savings. Rush over to chrisharder.me/mentor or loriharder.com/mentor. They both go to the same place, and grab a seat before it's too late. And by the way, when I say it's thousands and thousands of dollars off, that's not to scare you, make you think, oh my God, it must be really expensive. You can get started for as low as like $850 a month, I believe it is. And then you have a 30-day money back guarantee. So you can literally be like, all right, here's my $850. Do I like it or not? And then peace, I'm out if I don't like it, or I'm staying if I absolutely love it. And just to bring you up to speed in case you're like, oh, wait, what is it? I haven't heard this. It's literally the most supportive mastermind on the entire internet. And the way we achieved that is we went out and hired coaches for every part of business you would ever need. And so if you need a legal coach, because you have a question about, should I have a contract here? Or do I need a trademark here? Or if you need a social media coach, or if you need a podcast coach, or a tech and AI coach, or any of those things, we put them on salary. So now you get to ask them as many one-on-one questions as you want on demand. And we call it questions on demand. And it's freaking awesome. And then we support that by creating community. And Lori and I working on your business, there's weekly calls. And so one out of every 2 weeks, so I mean every other week, Lori and I are answering your business questions directly. And then the other weeks, the coaches are answering your businesses directly, plus teaching you. Everything about it is so supportive and awesome. So go to chrisharder.me/mentor or loriharder.com/mentor, because the founder pricing is going to go away at the end of this week coming up. Wild. Okay. So speaking of businesses, you and I dream up more businesses than we know what to do with. We're like, why don't we share some of these on an episode and just like, here's some of the cool money-making ideas for 2025.
Every single walk. It's like it's actually sometimes a problem. And we're like, okay, we're not starting any of these, but it's so fun to talk about. So we're going to share them with you because we really want you to understand how people are making money right now and how they're starting to make money. Because I think in the past, it was really like, okay, what am I going to do? What's my full-time gig? And now people are piecing together money from so many different areas. And if you've listened to this podcast at all throughout the years, Chris and I are massive advocates for multiple income streams. Mm-hmm. Chris and I right now, if you saw all of the different income streams that come in, you'd be like, holy crap, I had no idea they were getting paid in all of these different ways. And it's vital, you guys, because at any given time, your biggest income stream could go away. And we have experienced this. Yep. We've experienced big income streams going away. We've experienced small income streams going away, middle income streams going away. And this is why we have so many many different ones and why we're always focused on other ways that we can make money. Now, I don't want you guys to get so overloaded that you're kind of not making any money anywhere because you're so scattered. But what we want this to be today is a brain jogger, a creative jogger for you to understand that it's not bleak out there. There's actually so many different ways for you to piece together hundreds of dollars here, thousands of dollars there, tens of thousands of dollars here. It's very important that you start opening up your mind to the new way of things getting done.
I saw something really cool. It was a stat, and it was not like a made up stat, like a Harvard study, that kind of thing. And it said by 2027, 50% of the workforce will be working from home or as a gig worker. Like, let that sink in. So think of all the employees that work as a W-2 employee right now. They're all being shifted real quickly, especially because of AI.
Yeah.
To really work from home. Like, hey, if you're a graphic artist, do that from home. If you're a copywriter, do it from home. And 50% of the workforce is going to be that in just a few years. That's wild.
I just interviewed an 8-figure founder. She is literally going to hit 8 figures this year. And I was asking her who she uses if she has in-house employees for like some of her really big stuff, like her website person for when they're running sales and doing different things. And just, I asked her a ton of different questions about who she uses. And she said, you're not going to believe this. I literally still to this day get most of my people to help me with those things from Upwork and Fiverr. And I was blown away. She's like, it's gotten so good and so much better. And you can see their work. And she's like, I try not to have these people on my payroll because as a startup, sorry, she's not a startup, but as somebody, when she was starting up, she just got used to working this way and now she loves it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say who, but we have a friend, a company we invested in, 8-figure company. And the bulk majority of his workforce is all gig workers, right? And he's like, oh, I just need this designer for a month here. Oh, I just need this customer service thing for this influx here. I just need, right? So that's the new workforce, guys. You already know that. We're not telling you anything new, but the point is there's opportunity all around you because you think it's that way now. It's about to be that way on steroids. And Lori mentioned like Etsy, Upwork, Fiverr, Uber, Instacart. Shout out to the OGs that really created the gig economy. We're not going to go over those today, even though those are all great, viable options. But those are just the tip of the iceberg, right? They've been around for a while. And I think most of you listening, you're even more entrepreneurial than the traditional side hustler. You're not like, oh, I want to go drive a little bit in the evenings, which is super cool and totally awesome, by the way. But that's not the kind of ideas we're going to give. These are going to be a little bit more, like one more step, 2 more steps, 3 more steps into being a real entrepreneur in these types of ideas. But man, shout out to like Chris, the guy that we met on TaskRabbit, who's really a handyman. He makes a killing, a really good living, literally advertising on TaskRabbit. That's how we found him. And then letting people know all the things he can do. He's a jack of all trades. He, a buddy, and a truck makes 6 figures each. And they don't work any other jobs and they're crushing it and they love it.
He spent no less than 4 full days at our house doing things when we first moved in. And this guy could literally do everything. But we want you to think in terms of that. If you're someone with a skill, you could literally be making what they're making, depending on where you live, especially because there's such a demand, you guys, for handyman work out in our
handy
area.
woman.
Handy woman.
Way to be sexist, Lori.
I'm just
you're the handy one in a couple.
I truly am.
I'm the handsy one and you're the handy one.
Great. Is that on Upwork? Okay. So what's so cool, Chris, is you are an insane strategist to the point where I feel like you could literally monetize anything. I mean, you're going to be real about it. You're not going to, tell people that they're going to be able to monetize something that you don't see could actually be monetized. But why don't we start rolling, talking about what you think, especially for the future and the way things are going?
It really is a superpower, right? I just, for some reason, can see exactly the missing opportunity that other people can't see that's right in front of them. And I think it's a fun thing to do. And so I'm going to give some ideas that are part-time. They might be an extra $1,000 or $2,000 a month. I'm going to give some ideas that are, could be full-time. I'm going to give some ideas that could be 6 figures, but you're doing it part-time, but it's going to take a lot of work. I'm going to give some online, some in-person. So if you hear the first couple and they're not for you, stick with us because these are some really diverse types of ideas, some online, some in person, et cetera. So the first one is this. Now, obviously, AI is changing everything right now, and it's an AI prompt maker. What the heck is an AI prompt maker? People are making a killing right now, creating these series of prompts to use AI to get certain outcomes. Here's an example. Traditionally, people that have sold therapy or coaching in the past, the smart ones now, instead of trading their time for money, they're selling these series of specific prompts. They're prompt packages that turns ChatGPT into like your therapist or into your coach. And now they don't have to do it, but instead you literally upload like, okay, first tell ChatGPT what type of therapist you want to be or coach. Then tell it you to ask you these 5 sentences in this order, and ask it not to move on until you get to blah, blah, blah. And they always put some of their IP in there to make it special. And you follow this map of prompts, and it's awesome.
Yeah, somebody who is doing this right now is StoryBrand has actually decided to turn a lot of their stuff into prompts because they can see the future. And so this is really cool. Think of if you have something that you're putting people through some sort of big session and you're like, oh my God, this is maybe going away because of ChatGPT can do it. Well, it can, but it can't quite do it exactly the way that maybe you can or these other companies can. So looking at something that you see could go away in the future and either creating their prompts for them or taking what you have and creating prompts. So for example, when I was listening to this podcast, I was like, this is insane. I can literally put my company Glossy through this story brand prompt, but I need all the prompts. Like even me doing it myself isn't exactly like I wasn't getting the outcomes that I really wanted. I was getting some great ones, but I was like, man, if I could have, from the company, these prompts, that would rock.
Yeah, so be a prompt maker. Like for anything, you guys, I've seen prompt packages, and I want you to think courses, right? People used to sell courses. Now they're selling prompt packages. So I've seen packages for prompts that build a budget for you or prompts that get you out of debt. I've seen them for creating like healthy menus based on specific, like I'm a diabetic. Here's your set of diabetic prompts to have a full month worth of menus. You know what I mean? I've seen it for legal docs, like to create standard contracts. I've seen it for pet training. I've seen it for far more complex things like how to build and train an AI agent, and which is like an assistant or somebody who can like create a summary of your emails. People know that ChatGPT, and Laura, you already said this, and Perplexity and all the other ones out there, they know that they're available to do these things, but 99% of people, including us, don't know the right prompts to get the exact outcome. So they try it and they get frustrated and they say, I don't understand this AI thing. But if you give them a prompts package, and you guys, people are paying $19, $29, up to I've seen $99, $199 for prompt packages. So if you give them these, you can make a killing helping other people navigate AI.
These are great opt-ins as well, you guys, because let me just tell you, it is all about building that email list and that text list because social media is being shown to people less and less right now, honestly.
Yep.
And we have to be better. You have to do it more. You have to really understand social media and you have to make really good content. So I would say really get yourself some amazing opt-ins, and this is a great idea.
Yeah, so monetize it or use it as an opt-in, but this is big, big business for the next 4 to 5 years. Okay, next business idea. Should we do another one?
Go for it.
All right, sticking with AI for a minute. Don't worry, we're going to get out of AI here in a moment, but this is really relevant to the world right now. A digital clone builder or a digital clone consultant. So here's what I mean. Yeah, I'll explain this. Lori and I have digital clones of ourselves. You can literally go on and ask it anything, and it'll answer as though it was Lori in her real brain. It'll answer as though it was me in my real brain. And we have tried it, and it's insane. But they've been highly trained and curated to get them there. And the person that builds this clone and trains it to be exactly like you, that's what I mean by a digital clone consultant or a digital clone builder or creator.
It takes a lot to train it. Like you literally have to go back through everything you've ever put out essentially on the internet in order to train this.
Yep. And now this might sound intimidating, right? You're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. But it's actually easy because the software is already built. Like go to Delphi.ai, I think it is. The software is already built. So you're not building software. You're the person that's getting paid to take the time to be like, okay, Lori, you want to be one? I've got to upload all of your podcasts. I've got to upload all of your YouTube that's out there. I've got to upload all of your social media posts that are out there. I've got to train it on all the books that you've ever read, right? So, Lori, what books have you ever read? I've got to train it on your favorite podcasts that you listen to. What are your favorite podcasts? The more information that is specific to quote unquote the Loris of the world who thinks certain things, publishes certain things, says certain things, right? They had to pull your book in, everything. That's a lot of work, guys. But there people that do this, they're charging $5,000 to $10,000 to take the, the Delphi software and do this for people like Lori and I. So this is big money. Anyone can learn to do this. It's really just admin work. Yeah. It's lots and lots of admin work that you can capitalize on the AI trend right now.
And then lots of pitching. In no part of this are you going to get out of being your best salesperson. No part of this are you going to get out of having to pitch everything that you do, guys. Sales is always one of the biggest, like it is one of the most important things that you do. So everything that we say, I think there's so much opportunity, but you also have to really focus on pitching and sales.
Yeah. So any of you can learn to do this. And this is a $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 a month type of thing. Once you learn how to do this and how to sell. And any of you can learn this.
And the sooner the better, because people will be learning this.
Yep. I'm seeing a few of them pop up now. And a close cousin of this, by the way, and this is way more complex than what I just described, is designing AI agents for people. And I won't get into that, but it's way more complex, but it's huge money. And if you don't know what an AI agent is, it's basically like training this AI agent to aggregate and respond to all your emails for you, or training it to summarize all of your favorite news for a day or all the sports for a day and have it prepared for you. Almost like an assistant used to bring you your little package in the morning, like, here's your favorite articles. And I highlighted all the point. You know what I mean? That's what an AI agent is. Okay. So next business idea, a high-end concierge for individual people or couples. Now, this is actually a massively growing segment. I'll give you an example. There's dog walking, and then there's rich people dog walking. And there's a very big difference. It's all in how you position it. And positioning matters. And by the way, here's a tip for your business, no matter what you're doing. Positioning matters, and rich people pay more. Busy people pay more. That's just the way the world works. So what do I mean by a concierge? You're not doing things that are any different than what other people might do, but the way you position it and who you go after, like I said, totally matters. If you call yourself a dog walker, you get dog walking rates. If you call yourself a concierge and dog walking is one of the things that you get to do, you get concierge rates for the dog walking, right? So it might be the difference between, I don't know, $25 an hour and, $85 an hour. I think we pay this amazing, God, I love them to death, local couple an average of $250 to $300 a week, depending on what we have to have done, whether it's walking the dogs because we can't do the evening one, or we can't do the morning one, or staying at the house when we're gone, or quite often meeting contractors here, or coming and getting the packages off the front and bringing them in, right? Things that we're too busy to do. Well, that adds up to $1,000 or $1,500 or $1,800 a month, totally part-time, just kind of being a concierge for these types of things. And rich people love concierge services. Think house manager, right? You're managing their life, or life manager, because they're too busy to do this, or they become too cushy, I hate to say it, to do some of these things themselves. And the truth is, when you're too busy and you can't keep up doing these things, then you need amazing people like you in their life to be able to do it, and they'll pay handsomely for it. So this is like one of those part-time, extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month type of things that you can fit in around your stuff.
Positioning, the way you pitch yourself, how you show up when you pitch yourself. That's really important, that if you want a clientele who is willing to pay more, it will matter how you show up. It will matter what you pitch them with. It needs to look good, and you need to look good when you show up. You need to look put together. You need to look like you care, because that's what they're looking for. If they're about to let you in their house and their personal life and to take care of these very personal things, it really, really matters how you present yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's one more little fact around this. The divide in the economy is just getting bigger, right? Let's call it what it is. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and the middle class is getting screwed. And so one of the ways to really supplement your income is you can serve the people who have, less and less buying power, or you can serve the people that are growing quickly, have more and more buying power. So the smart thing there is repackage your services, position them better, and go serve the people that have a lot more buying power.
Mhm.
Okay, should we do another one?
Yep.
All right. Local venue recycling or local venue flipping. You're like, what in the world is this? This is literally finding like garages, barns, backyards,
Ooh, empty
pools, beautiful pools,
stores.
empty stores. Yep. Even homes like ours, or spaces. Like you can go on Peer Space and find all these spaces. Or even businesses during closed hours, like yoga studios or classrooms, right? They're all closed maybe from 7 o'clock on or something. And securing these venues, right? Getting a list of these venues and then customizing them and matchmaking them to people that have pop-up events, people that have anniversaries or birthday parties, people that have product launches, even just meetings. So I'll give you a real example. And by the way, so I should be more clear. On one side, you're finding these event spaces and kind of tweaking them, setting them up, cleaning them. And then on the other side, you're finding the clients and you're getting paid to be the matchmaker. Does that make sense?
Mhm, mhm.
So a lot of these are available on peerspace.com, but no one's out there actively matchmaking people like us that have a meeting or I've got this anniversary, I've got this whatever, matchmaking us to the perfect space and then doing everything turnkey, right?
Mhm.
So here's an example. I went to the Pendry, babe, you know where it is
Yep.
in Newport here. And our events manager set us up with the Pendry's events manager to scope it out for our next elite mastermind. So she's showing me around all the place and she said, here's a regular room, here's a suite, and here's one of our, what do they call these things? Hospitality suites. And I said, this thing's awesome. It's huge. Like, it's incredible. And I said, how often is it rented? She's like, oh my gosh, all the time. And I said, how much are they? I thought it was going to be several $1,000s a day. She's like, really? They average like 750 to 1250 a day.
Wow.
Now, there was a giant conference room table. There was a kitchenette. There was another sitting area. There was a desk area. It's beautiful. So you could host a big meeting. You could host a big birthday. You could, whatever there.
Yeah.
And so right away I thought, oh my God, people probably rent this for the 750 bucks to 1250 bucks for a day. Then they tell their client, oh, I've got the perfect venue. It's beautiful. It's at the Pendry. You get these services with it. I'll book it for you. I'll pay for it. All you do is pay me the package for
Yeah.
arranging it all. And they probably resell it for $5,000 to be there for the day curating it.
Turnkey, yep.
Yep.
Because you really do need someone. Chris and I do a lot of these high-end services. We'll do, 2-day in-person mastermind type things, all-day strategy sessions. And when we're in that, we absolutely need somebody to be curating the whole thing. I mean, we do have team, but if you don't have a team, who's going to make sure that everything looks perfect, that the stuff that you want to eat is there, that the presentation of the juices and all of the things that you really want to impress people with and make them feel like they're having an upscale luxury experience? Who's going to do all that? Who's going to, wait on them and make sure that they're all taken care of? You have to have those people and they're hard to find.
Yep. I'll give you another example. Friends of ours were here and they're like, oh, we want to start doing these retreats. And I was like, oh my God, use our house like twice a year. We wouldn't care. Like have the retreat right here. It's a backyard overlooking the whole ocean. And it's that exact. Now, obviously it's not an invitation for all you guys to come use our house, but what it is look, there are people's homes that if you're like, hey, could I use this for $5,000 for the evening or the afternoon? I'm hosting a retreat. And then you play arbitrage. You sell 20 people a $1,000 ticket for your retreat and you paid $5,000 for the beautiful, house and backyard, you just made $15,000. So really this is a play of playing arbitrage on spaces that are either cheap or not being used and then matchmaking them to other people. Big
Mhm.
business.
It's crazy. I've paid for friends' homes for photo shoots.
Yep.
And like, I feel weird asking, but I'm like, hey, do you want to be out of your house for an afternoon and me pay you X amount of dollars, which is usually fairly decent because renting a home on Peerspace is crazy expensive usually for the type of home that I need for content shoots. And so being someone who maybe does this, maybe you get together some companies that need these services and you go out and you find people who you could do that for.
Yep. So our next category, this is kind of in the same vein,
Mhm.
only you are the person putting on the event. So here's a new trend: micro retreat organizers. Now retreats have been around forever, right?
Mhm.
This is nothing new. Hey, I rented out this place in Bali and I'm selling 20 spots. Hey, I'm bringing everyone to Costa Rica and I'm selling 15 spots. Or hey, we're all going to, Newport Beach and I'm selling 25 spots. That's been around forever. That's not new. Micro retreats, though, are becoming more popular. And I saw it just the other day. I'm not going to say who, but this great business coach had only 4 people in a conference room, but like a really cool one with great personality.
Mhm.
They spent a day or two going through doing this micro business retreat. And that's
Mhm.
how she pitched it. And it is 4 people times, I think it's $7,500, right? So right there, that's $30,000 for 2 days of her time, and only had to find 4 people, not 20, not 40, not right. And so anyone with a small audience
Mhm.
can do this. And people love the more hands-on, more intimate thing. Now,
Mhm.
it's kind of a volume play. If you're not doing 20, 30 people at a time, you got to make up for that by doing the micro retreats a little bit more often. But I love how these pencil out. So let's say it was 4 clients for $2,500 a pop. And I don't care if this is a yoga retreat, a fitness retreat, a relationship retreat, a business retreat, like wellness,
Set.
anything.
Cooking, putting people's lives together, organizing.
Yep, totally. So 4 people, 2,500, that's $10,000 for a day or 2 days, or 3 days max of putting them through whatever exercises are related to that retreat. So you don't need expensive venues for this. We just talked about all the places that you can find venues for this. This is where some of those local venues that we talked about before can come in like really handy. You just need to find a venue, whether it's in your town or somewhere else, where you start to host it over and over and over again. So it becomes turnkey. And so 4 people, $2,500 pop, that's $10,000. Now, if you do that 4 times a year, once a quarter, that's an extra $40,000 a year. That's an extra $3,500 a month for your family budget.
I've actually been seeing this in small towns, like women doing retreats where there's not retreats, you guys. So picture, smaller town, rural Wisconsin, where they either rent a house or they rent a space and people are together for a day or two and they're just charging maybe they're just charging $250 or $500. Like I really need you to think in terms of what your area might allow, but also if your area doesn't have it, that's not a reason to say this won't go over. In fact, that might be the exact reason that if you don't give up, you might start being the most popular person around there.
Well, I'm going to take what you said and take it a step further because you're spot on. It's becoming way more popular to
Mhm.
attend micro retreats than to go to these great big ones because they're overplayed and they're not profitable. Every time someone in one of our masterminds or I've coached them, whatever, they're like, I'm scaling my retreat. I'm scaling my retreat. I want to do it bigger, bigger, bigger. When you scale retreats, they lose profitability.
The cost goes up.
Yep. And it gets harder and harder to fill. So it's not a good business model to do great big retreats. It just doesn't pencil. The great business model is what if you cranked one of these out every single month? So what if you skip 2 months, right? The holidays, 10 months times 4 people at $2,500 a pop. It's $100,000 to just do these 10 micro retreats. It's so easy to fill 4 people at a time. And that is it's something you could totally do part-time for 6 figures.
If you're like, okay, but then why do some of these people have these massive events? Those are people who actually use the event as a lead magnet into something else they are selling. So when you see really large events, they typically have a very high end experience or course that they are consistently selling into, or really high end coaching. And they're sales ninjas, you guys, absolute ninjas. And they use that large audience together to get people in.
Yeah, when you start playing with the numbers on micro retreats, they get real sexy real quick. Okay, let's do 1 or 2 more. You wanna?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here's another idea I got. A local adventure or experience designer.
I'm obsessed with this.
Right?
Because
Anyone can do it.
still fairly new in Newport. And I was like, I want to go on dates with you. I
Yep.
want them to be fun and I want them to be like experiences, but I don't have the effing time
To
put
plan it.
that together.
Nope.
Like I literally don't. And I know there's so much here that I'm missing out on. I don't have time to join the things, get on the newsletters, like read them, stay on top of what's happening this weekend. Like I want to talk to someone and I want them to say, okay, I planned your date day Saturday. Here's your agenda. Here's where you're going. I booked you this special table. I booked you this like guide in the museum or whatever. Like this is literally what I want.
A great example of how big this can get is visit Newport Beach. So, babe, get this. Remember, I just said I went to the Pendry last week and I was checking out the space for
Yeah.
the mastermind, right? Well, towards the end of the pitch that they're giving me, hey, here's why you got to host it here. She said, oh, and we've got something really cool for you. Visit Newport Beach has thrown in $2,000 credit for any kind of group, anything you want them to organize for your group.
Oh my God, amazing.
Right? Well, one, amazing, but two, I'm like, right away, my brain, I was like, oh, those smart sons of bitches. They're just trying to get us to use visit Newport Beach, right? Like,
Yeah. And I'm like, let me use it. Oh.
exactly. Yeah, you just fell for it. I saw your face light up. And so the point is, this is easy to market. All you do is you get a local Instagram page, you make it fun, sexy, and awesome and informational about your area. People share it. You also double down on Facebook Marketplace, sharing and selling some of the experiences. And anyone can design anything. You can design e-bike tour. You can design, little beach pop-ups. You can design, if you live where there's fields, like a beautiful little barn pop-up experience, dinner experience. It's endless. All you got to do is learn your area, learn cool things, and become a local adventure or designer. And it's not just for tourists, right? It's for locals, it's for friend groups,
God,
it's for couples, it's for anniversaries, it's for birthdays, it's for everything. So you'll have more business than you know what to do with.
Your marketing pitch could just be like, are you sick of boring date days? Are you and your friends always looking for something to do? Are you always the planner, or nobody in your group is a planner? So you guys end up sitting around staring at each other, drinking again, or whatever. Or you always end up in the same place, but don't really know your town. There's so many ways to market that. And then you guys, if I was doing this business, which sounds super fun to me, I would absolutely try to figure out how to get some marketing dollars to give some local influencers a free magical freaking date day. Like, I would be looking up who the local influencers are. They tend to hashtag everything or go on your explore page and look under your area, like, or they go to really trendy places. So for me to find every single Newport Beach influencer, I'm not even kidding. All I have to do is go and look at who tagged the location of the Restoration Hardware restaurant.
Yep. The new one here.
I'm not shitting you that I have followed probably 30 women that I'm actively trying to go to lunch with, because I'm like, they're doing big things or cool things. Like, I want to get to know them. And so what I would do is I would reach out to them if I was starting this business, and I would say, hey, I'm starting this business. I would love to gift you the most amazing date for either you and you and a friend, or you and your partner.
Yep.
And I would say the only thing I ask is that I can either market some of it, or you guys take some footage while you're on these things, and I can market it on my page and I could get a testimonial.
Yep, exactly. This is low overhead because you're not paying for anything other than you're getting paid for the curation of the list of things to do. You're getting paid for the curation of okay, meet me here. I'll get you guys set up with the bikes. So you're just being paid for your time and expertise, and you're being paid handsomely for it.
And obviously, these are things that as you get into this business, you're trying to get the better tables. People start to learn. You get a relationship with certain restaurants. You get a relationship with these certain things that you're always sending people on. You find really cool experiences. And of course, you have to book way far out for these things. So you do have to do some preparation. But this is such a cool idea.
All right, let's do one more.
Okay.
This thing is actually dragged down a little bit, but it's freaking awesome. I love talking about this stuff.
That business.
Yeah, all right, let's start it. It's not like we're not busy. Okay, last one, affiliate sales. And this is something that, so I just talked to a super duper duper famous person, I can't say who it is, that you guys all know. And he was talking about how he gave another very famous person this idea to change their business model to a couple tier affiliate model. And their business took off and became valued at more than $1 billion. And this is par for the course. You guys, every product, everything, everyone is becoming an affiliate model now. It's the most efficient means of advertising for a company. So instead of going out running ads and all this stuff, you're only paying people for spreading word of mouth when it creates a sale. Mm-hmm. So from a company standpoint, people love affiliate sales. But from a participant standpoint, you at home wanting to make some money, what I'm watching women do on TikTok Shop, finding people's favorite products and going live and selling, I can name 20 or 30 people that I know that are making 10 grand a month selling other people's products after their kids go to bed, first thing in the morning, middle of the day when the kids are at school. It's freaking awesome.
Look, you want to really do this, you need to be serious about it, and you can absolutely make really, really good money, you guys. Like tens of thousands of dollars, if not more than that, a month with some of these people who have become experts in it. So all it is a learning curve. Don't get stressed out. You can literally learn how to sell on TikTok. You could learn how to sell on Instagram. You can learn how to sell on all the platforms. You can have a like to know it page. But what I want to share is what a lot of women are doing is they're kind of turning their everyday into QVC, essentially. If you guys remember the Home Shopping Network, And what they do is they find brands that they love or they feel like they could talk about for hours. And they literally go on and sell for these brands. So what they do is they kind of take a room in their house and they turn it into a little bit of a studio.
Yeah, just one
Now,
wall with
this
lighting.
is so easy, you guys. I literally invested about, let me see, in total, I invested about $1,000 in some paneling for my walls, some beautiful curtains, a bunch of lighting, and an awesome chair. Or you could do like a standing desk, whatever you're going to sell at. And all you have to do is literally find these products and just go on and learn how to talk about them, learn how to highlight them, have great lighting, have a cute background, make this a thing, like give it a shot. I think it's where the future is. It's already here. It's already here. People are making so much money. And I can tell you that it's real because I, with Glossy, am able to go into all of these platforms who are pitching me right now for UGC and content creation and selling my product. And I can go on and see what these different affiliates are making. Some of these affiliates have made hundreds of thousands of dollars in a year off of all of these different products, you guys. So what they do is they just go on and they sell a ton of different products. And I can actually see who they are. Now, you're probably like, oh my gosh, these are these great influencers and these people who are so good with content or who have followings. No, they're just, yes, they are great with content, but they don't have huge followings. They've just become really good at learning how to highlight companies and make amazing videos. And that's how they're getting paid, is also selling the product and also making amazing videos.
And what I love is the algorithm's finally in your favor. So you might be hearing this, be like, oh, I don't have a big Instagram following, or I don't have a big Facebook,
TikTok.
whatever, right? That's what makes this great, is now TikTok is changing everything. It's no longer do you have a big following. And if you do, great. Affiliate marketing is awesome. But even if you don't now, when you go live on TikTok Shop, you get fed to everybody scrolling. Mm-hmm. So you could have 10 freaking followers and you do a good job selling product on there. It pushes you out further and further to all the people you don't know. And then they buy your stuff. Same thing with just posting on TikTok Shop. So the number of things I bought on there, just scrolling. So not even live, right? Just scrolling, and it's someone's little TikTok about, this emergency flashlight or these walkie-talkies or whatever. They're nobody that, I don't mean nobody rude way. I mean, like, they don't have a following. I don't follow them, but I still bought because they did a cool job demonstrating it in 30 or 60 seconds. I was like, oh, I need that for the end of the world. Well, I need that for the end of the world too. And I bought them. The number of things I bought on TikTok Shop from people I don't know. I know.
Money, more than I like to say, because they just did a good job of showing the product. We have no idea who they are. It looks like some 27-year-old guy, in the other side of the world talking about how this drone can fly ahead of you and get good content for you.
And we bought it.
And we bought it. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I have no idea. I've never seen him again since, but we bought his stuff.
Oh, I love it. So guys, I don't know if that was 6, 7, 8, 9 ideas, whatever that was. I hope it got your brains thinking differently than the traditional ways of making money. If you're already an entrepreneur, I hope it got you thinking, oh, here's a pivot, or here's a way I could be doing things differently, or here's a way I could distribute my products. And Lori and I are idea machines. Lori is a marketing machine. And this is the kind of stuff that we talk about in depth, in detail for you in our Mentor Collective Mastermind. Mm-hmm. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, we only have a few days left of founder pricing. It's going to go up by thousands of dollars afterwards. Don't let that intimidate you, because it's priced, like I said, you could get started for $850-ish for the first 30 days. And if you don't like it, you get all your money back. Mm-hmm. So go check it out. It's literally questions on demand, coaches on demand. Lori and I and the coaches answering your business questions every single week, office hours, free resources. It's the greatest, most supportive mastermind on the entire planet. It's going
to be fun. Like, if you enjoyed this conversation, that's how it feels. It's hopeful. It's real. We're in touch with what's actually working and what people are doing and helping you get ahead of the curve. It's just fun. Like, why do it alone anymore when you can have the most supportive people on your side helping you tweak and figure out what's next?
Yep. All right, guys. So go to loriharder.com/mentor or chrisharder.me/mentor. They both go to the same place, loriharder.com/mentor. Grab one of the seats before the price goes up. We can't wait to have these fun conversations with you and make you lots of money.
All right. We'll see you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.